Hello, I'm Mark Ellis, Barnstable Town Manager, and this is my Town Manager update for the period of December 3rd through the 9th today. Sorry, it was 1 week between council meetings. The Town Manager, in coordination with the Finance Department, continues to follow the budget action calendar for FY 2027 operating and capital budgets. Town Council has tentatively scheduled a budget workshop, first meeting in January 8th, to discuss fiscal policy and revenue strategy. And as a reminder, Town Manager's calendar year fee hearing was held back in November 13th. The proposed fees were taken under advisement for 30 days. We're coming up on that 30-day deadline for public comment. Due 4 p.m. Monday, December 15th. And after that, I'll make a decision relevant to either approving the fees as proposed, approving reduced, or no change, so they stay as they are. And for all our budget information, please visit our website. Today, Cape and Islands Bridge Coalition had its quarterly meeting. The agenda included welcoming the newly appointed Undersecretary of Transportation for Massachusetts, Jonathan Gulliver, as the guest speaker. Undersecretary Gulliver has been a strong supporter of Cape Cod Bridges Replacement Project in his prior role as Mass DOT Highways Administrator, and his visit promises to be a great opportunity for dialogue with members of the Cape and Islands Bridges Coalition. Additionally, Cape and Islands Bridges Coalition will receive a quarterly project update from Louisa Paiwanski, Executive Director of Mega Project Delivery with Mass DOT. The state recently filed the draft environmental impact statement for replacement of the Cape Cod bridges under the National Environmental Policy Act. Louisa will share more about this filing and its significance for the overall bridge replacement effort. And for those interested, you can visit an interactive summary site to review the draft environmental impact statement and submit comments. On November 18, 2025, I reported that the town had received a copy of a report submitted to Town Council regarding a Save Greater Dowses Beach electromagnetic frequency monitoring project. The report is under review by staff. The report was sent to Vineyard Wind and the Secretary of Energy and Environmental Affairs, Rebecca Tepper, for review and appropriate action. Additionally, I've sent multiple communications to Secretary Tepper and the Energy Facility Siting Board regarding the report and prior requests for action relevant to safety and compliance of the Vineyard Wind project, as they are the regulators who oversee for the state this matter. Certainly there's also federal agencies that oversee it as well. I communicated with the Secretary's office earlier today regarding the status of a response to my request for verification of the safety and compliance of the project. Haven't received a response yet. We will keep you advised of any additional information resulting from these requests. On December 3rd, I sent a letter to Governor Healy expressing our concern regarding the reported absence of funding from the Massachusetts Dredge Program in FY 2027 state budget proposal. And I've attached my letter if you want to take a look at it. And basically, we urge the governor to prioritize funding for the Mass Dredge Program in the upcoming fiscal year. Remember, we have a master dredge plan. We go out there and we do maintenance dredging. Not only does it improve our navigable waters, it also helps with water quality and the flushing of our embayments. So for Barnstable and Cape Cod, these are critical funds that help us both enjoy our waterways and keep them flushing and healthy. Town Clerk Ann Quirk has announced that the annual mailing containing the street listing and census form for all town residents is scheduled to be mailed out after Christmas. So we want you all to be looking for that and aware that it's coming. And this is, I have promised town council and the public to provide updates on the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit request and addressing the concerns raised at town council. We, through our staff, are following up on the speed limit concerns brought forward to recent town council. Council agreed to withdraw the initial request to town staff so that they could, or really the initial request so that town staff could take a more comprehensive and collaborative look at the issue. The Department of Public Works is convening a working group that will include representatives of DPW, the Planning Department, and the police. Together, they'll review current speed limits, safety data, and opportunities for improvements to be made town-wide. It's important to note that the town and the DPW already manage and participate in a number of road safety programs and grant-funded initiatives, each aimed at making our streets safer for drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists. It includes Complete Streets, the local bottleneck reduction program, the Safe Streets and Roads for All initiative, and regular road safety audits, CARTA studies, and pedestrian safety improvement projects, to name a few. These efforts will help inform our next steps on speed management in our community. To put it in context, Mass General Law allows municipalities to establish 20-mile-an-hour speed safety zones in areas like village centers. This is a tool we can use immediately, and DPW will be expediting the identification and establishment of these zones to enhance safety in our most walkable areas. Our commitment is to take a thoughtful, data-driven approach that improves roadway safety across Barnstable while ensuring consistency, clarity, and community benefit. So the last item I spoke to was in addition to looking at the 25-mile-an-hour thickly settled areas of town. We'll keep you advised monthly of our progress. And finally, we'll conclude with Kelly Colopy, Communications Manager for the Public Works Department, providing an update on water resource management, including our comprehensive wastewater management plan. And our Assistant Town Manager, Andy Clyburn, will provide an enforcement update. Thank you, and have a wonderful holiday season.
Hello, Kelly Colopy, Department of Public Works, and I will be walking you through our Water Resources Management Update. First, we will take a look at Comprehensive Wastewater Management Plan sewer connections. We've had some additional connections come in over the last several weeks, bringing up our total completion to 68% program-wide. Again, these are sewer connections completed as part of our Comprehensive Wastewater Management Plan and our two most recently completed sewer expansion projects, the Strawberry Hill Road and Route 28 East projects. We do tend to see a little drop in connections as the winter months settle in. The colder weather makes it a little bit more difficult at times for the excavation. So we will keep an eye and continue to keep our council and our community updated, but certainly pleasantly pleased to see that we are now at 68% program-wide in terms of sewer connection compliance. Now we'll shift over to our active construction. We are continuing our sewer installation as part of the Centerville Village Sewer Expansion North Phase. Since our last report, the two most significant updates would be within Work Zone 1, Chute Flying Hill Road. Currently, the crew, which was primarily stationed around the Great Marsh Road area, has continued to move down Chute Flying Hill Road and is now installing sewer between the Waquaket Lake boat ramp and turn lane. And then the other significant update would be in regards to our night work on Route 28. As a reminder, Monday through Thursday evening, 7 p.m. to 6 a.m., we do have work overnight occurring on Route 28 between Finney's Lane and Old Stage Road. These night operations will continue to about December 18th, and then the crew will begin demobilizing for the winter season. Much of this is just because of the availability of asphalt. The asphalt plants do close for the winter months, so we are preparing to demobilize that overnight activity. Work Zone 3, Mothers Park and Finney's Lane from Route 28 to Main Street. Work continues there, like Shoot Flying Hill Road. This is a daytime operation occurring Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And work has primarily consisted on constructing the new alignment of the intersection within or right around Mothers Park, as well as the associated sewer and drainage work in that area. And this does require road closures as well, as you can see listed on the slide and at the map to the left. Next, we'll shift over to the Route 28 West Sewer Expansion Project. Really no significant update since our last report. We continue to work with the contractor, Robert B. Auer, on developing our final construction schedule. They do anticipate to begin construction and pre-construction activities in early 2026. And as a reminder, the work planned on Route 28 will also occur overnight, similar to the work happening overnight for Centerville Village North. We did host a public information meeting as previously reported on October 29th, and that meeting has been recorded and has been made available through Barnstable Government Access as well as barnstablewaterresources.com. I do include an update now on the Finney's Lane Neighborhoods Sewer Expansion Project. We're starting to have some movement on this project, or we've had to continual movement on this project, but we are reaching final design. So just to kind of provide some context, especially for our new council members, the Finney's Lane Neighborhood Sewer Expansion Project is anticipated to sewer over 580 properties. It's a very large project in terms of the number of parcels being sewered. And it will ultimately expand the sewer into the residential neighborhoods on the east and west side of Finney's Lane. So if you recall the Strawberry Hill Road project, that installed the sewer along Finney's Lane. We're now going to be using that infrastructure and expanding it to tie in those neighborhoods on both sides of Finney's Lane. So again, anticipate sewering over 580 parcels as part of this project. Our final design contract was awarded to Weston & Sampson, and they've been working diligently along town staff to finalize the design. We anticipate that the 90% design plans will be complete by the end of this year. So what happens next? Once we finalize our design, we will host a public informational meeting. We're targeting late winter, sometime in the early new year, and this will be a status of design meeting. This will provide the public with information as to the sewer design, any proposed pump stations, and give a general outlook on the anticipated timeline for this project. We'll then move the project forward by preparing for public bid, and we anticipate advertising the construction contract for this project sometime this spring. And again, construction for this project is anticipated to begin about a year from now in the fall of 2026. Now we'll take a look at the Stevens Street Pump Station, 268 Stevens Street. Really no significant updates here since our last report. I did report previously that an order of conditions was issued by the Conservation Commission on October 16th for the dewatering activities. A request for a superseding order of conditions was then filed with Mass DEP, and a site walk has been held as of December 4th, just about last week, this time last week. So we're really just awaiting next steps here, and you can, again, review all of the project information, objectives, and background on this slide. A reminder that this project is grant funded and was noticed properly through a notice of project change filed with MEPA in July of 2024. Now we'll take a look at the water pollution control facility. As a reminder, our nitrogen removal and headworks improvement project is moving along. We are in the pre-construction phase, and the contractor has mobilized to the site to begin prep work. Last report, I did provide an aerial rendering video. I've included the link in this report because I certainly recommend you take a look if you have not already viewed that video. It really provides you a great aerial look at the upgrades that will be made to the facility. As a reminder, the real keystone piece of this project here is the work that will be done to reduce our effluent concentration at the facility. Currently, the concentration of nitrogen coming from the facility's effluent is about 6 milligrams per liter, and we are looking to reduce that through the work and the upgrades as part of this project to an average concentration of 3 milligrams per liter or less. This reduction in nitrogen concentration in plant effluent will reduce the total nitrogen load to the Lewis Bay watershed. Additionally, all of the work being done here at the water pollution control facility is really going to set us up for success and being able to offer the next generation of wastewater treatment here in Barnstable. The addition of a 4-stage Barnstable process followed by the membrane bioreactors being installed will result in a very high quality treated effluent, which really enables us and provides opportunities for additional treatment processes to be considered as new conditions arise and as part of future work. So again, I've left the link to the water pollution control facility rendering, the aerial rendering. Highly encourage you to take a look at so you can see just how much work is going to be done at the water pollution control facility here in Hyannis. And then additionally, just an update, no significant changes really to the conversations that have been happening regarding our effluent disposal evaluation. Analysis is ongoing and we continue to have those conversations, especially the short-term conversation, the short-term solution with Mass DEP to expand the water pollution control facility's current permit to support flows through early phase 2 of the CWMP. I also included a little call out here. We've recently posted a sort of like a time-lapse history video of the water pollution control facility on Barnstable Water Resources social media. Again, highly encourage you to check that out. Really paints a really interesting picture. You can see how much the plant and just really the footprint of the water pollution control facility has changed over the years. And then that coupled with the aerial rendering for all the new upgrades that are planned, it really gives you a nice idea and a strong indication of just how well the plant has been functioning and how we're continuing to set ourselves up for a successful future as we look at our long-term wastewater treatment options and opportunities and technology. Now we'll just shift gears slightly to the water supply division and our Hyannis water system. As previously reported, the Straightway Water Treatment Facility project is officially underway. Active construction has begun on site. The contractor has commenced construction, which has so far consisted mainly of some site clearing, grubbing, really a lot of site prep work. You'll see a more recent construction photo on the bottom right of your screen there. And just above that is the rendering of the new treatment facility to be built. And as a reminder, increased construction vehicle traffic is expected within the vicinity of Straightway, and we continue to work with the neighborhood in particular with ongoing outreach as needed and as construction progresses. More information about the project can be found on the Town of Barnstable website, as well as Barnstable Water Resources on our drinking water supply page. And lastly, I like to end with recent communications efforts. Most recently, we have hosted probably at this point, maybe our 8th sewer connection workshop. The Department of Public Works did partner with the Barnstable Adult Community Center to have an ongoing continuing education initiative where we host quarterly sewer connection workshops. We've recently begun recording these meetings as well. You can watch our December 3rd workshop through Barnstable Government Access, as well as the Barnstable Water Resources website and social media channels. It's just a great refresher. We tend to provide, again, really consistent information about the residential sewer connection process, as well as anticipated costs, and of course, the financial support opportunities that are available. But each workshop is, kind of takes on a life of its own. It's all really driven by the folks who attend and their questions. So a lot of great dialogue happens at those workshops, and we look forward to hosting those with the Adult Community Center moving forward. And then additionally, you'll see kind of across your screen a couple of just quick screen grabs of some of the recent communications we've sent out. The first being our Water Resources newsletter. We send out a weekly newsletter through Barnstable Water Resources. The most recent newsletter was specifically geared towards homeowners and tips that they can take into consideration with how their own habits at home do impact our water quality. We also have some holiday and seasonal tips and best practices, not just for the sewer system, but also for your septic system, specifically around holiday hosting and cooking. And then we continue our education around the need for the CWMP. This is a regular reoccurring theme in all of our social media content, really just reminding folks why we have the comprehensive wastewater management plan and why it matters to our community. And with that, this is our Barnstable Water Resources Management Update. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Assistant Town Manager Andy Clyburn, here to give this year's final update on the Quality of Life Work Group established to look at enforcement efforts across all town departments. Our team consists of myself, the Hyannis Fire Chief Peter Burke, our Police Chief Jeannie Chalice, Building Commissioner Brian Florence, Director of Communications, Lynn Poyant, Director of Asset Management, David Anthony, Director of Planning, Jim Kuffner, our Town Attorney, Karen Nober, Assistant Town Attorney, Allison Cogliano, Derek Lawson, our Director of Marine Environmental Affairs, our Assistant Information Technology Director, Alicia Messier, Director of Licensing, Aaron Logan, and Peter Bertling. Over the past year, this group of professionals have met approximately 15 times to discuss recommendations for improving enforcement with regard to policies and procedures and communication to the community. This slide provides an overview of some of the work accomplished in 2025. The Barnstable Police Department was successfully removed from civil service in 2025. This extraordinary effort is undoubtedly the biggest positive impact on enforcement in the town of Barnstable for decades. Since removal, we've been able to hire 6 new officers, refilling our depleted ranks. We thank everyone involved, from union leadership locally to town council's unanimous support to move the department, to our state legislators who are instrumental in getting special legislation passed to remove our chief of police position. Special legislation allowing our marine and environmental affairs response vehicles to utilize red lights was drafted, supported by our town council, and is currently working its way through the Joint Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security at the State House. Many thanks to Senator Sear and Rep. Diggs for their help moving that along. Our Director of Asset Management, David Anthony, conducted a successful workshop with Town Council on the use of town property and special events. We appreciate Town Council input and our evolving permitting processes and look forward to continued fiscal policy discussions relative to the continued increasing cost to support those events. Town Council again provided support during the 2026 budget development process by approving new positions in conservation, inspectional services, and marine environmental affairs. Our legal and inspectional service departments forged a better collaborative relationship in developing cases, resulting in compelling compliance. Several modifications to our website were made to better support public communications. Town Council approved the establishment of a new zoning and regulatory standing committee of the council to review and make recommendations to the council regarding proposed zoning amendments and other proposed regulatory ordinances and amendments. The review by this committee will occur before undertaking the process outlined in Chapter 40A of the general laws of referring to Town Council to hold a first read and refer to the planning board. This should provide a more robust process with more opportunity for public input when considering proposed zoning and other regulatory ordinances and amendments. Town Council approved updated fees for zoning violations to aid in compelling compliance. Our team is actively working with OpenGov on 2 things. The first is a smart lookup complaint page where someone from the public can start typing an issue in a designated field, and that field will then look up related forms to potentially fill out, as well as common information about their issue for further reading. The second part is a public side complaint form. A person from the public that is logged into OpenGov will then be able to see where the complaint is in the investigative process. This would only show the progress and not the information associated with the active investigation. But allowing the person who filled out the complaint to see the progress should help with transparency issues. Updated rental program fees are at Town Council this week for consideration. Currently, the fee is $90 a year for the first rental and $25 for each additional rental. This is the first proposed update to these fees since 1 January 2007, nearly 2 decades. The new proposed fee is a flat $250 a year, which covers the cost of processing the registration as well as unit inspections. Assistant Building Commissioner Jeff Carter will be presenting this item Thursday night. As we turn the calendar to next year, we are tracking the home occupation and commercial vehicle ordinances currently being reviewed with public hearings by our planning board. That review is expected to conclude on December 22nd, with subsequent recommendations back to Town Council in January. We truly appreciate the extraordinary efforts our planning board is in reviewing these proposed ordinances in a thoughtful, comprehensive manner. We hope to complete the previously mentioned work in transitioning to the OpenGov platform for complaint tracking in the new year. We anticipate bringing forward new consolidated town manager parking regulations for our waste to water, trying to deconflict and simplify our current regulations at beaches, marinas, and landings. We hope to bring forward a slight restructuring in the inspectional services department to include associated town council fee hearings and a modification to the town code. We are also proposing a change to our existing noise ordinance. This will be sent to the newly created zoning committee for their consideration. That concludes my update for today. Thank you.